Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am Japor and today we'll be going to be playing some Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord. So, Mountain Blade Warband, one of my favourite games of all time, over 1,000 hours, loved it. Bannerlord, it's okay, I've played it, I've got about 600 hours in it, but to be fair, most of that was during the early period and through multiplayer, because I'm Australian, so there's not many games I can play on multiplayer, but there is a dedicated fan base, which is great because that's what's basically kept me involved with this game. Because I don't know about you guys, but I just love the medieval era, and I think this game really encapsulates everything I love about it. You can lead armies. I think the combat in this one is quite good. I think there are things that still need to be worked out by Tale Worlds, but otherwise, I think this is a really solid game. So today, for this session, or for this campaign really, we're going to be doing a realistic campaign. So, as I said before, I have quite a lot of hours in multiplayer, so I'm actually I believe I'm quite competent in combat when my computer is working. um, but yeah, so we're going to be playing realistic, basically the hardest difficulty, um, realistic death, although that doesn't seem to work too much, or maybe they've patched it recently, I don't know, I haven't really checked the patch notes, but um, yeah, so we're going to be doing realistic, basically as hard as we can, um, and we've only got two mods. One of them is the Swadian Armory mod, which adds like plate mail, um, and just endgame armor. Well, I call it endgame armor, it's just armor that's super expensive, but so you can really only afford it at endgame for you and your companions. It looks super mint, it's awesome, and adds that, again, medieval flair that I think the rest of this game doesn't really quite get. Like that plate mail, knights on horseback, that's really cool. Um, so that's what that mod's there for. And the other one is arranged marriage, which just makes my family in this game useful. Because otherwise, like your brother, for example, you can get him quite early in the campaign, and then he can die within like 2 or 3 battles, and that's it. That's his legacy done. So this way, they can actually have a bit more of a realistic involvement, and they don't have to be as useful in battle. They can be used elsewhere to marry off to other nobles and increase your influence. Yeah, so that's why those two mods are there. They're both on Nexus. Um, the reason why I'm starting this campaign now as well is because 1.73 just um, got uploaded, and I've been playing on 1.72 with quite a few other mods, but those other mods haven't been updated, so I thought I'll start as quickly as possible on 1.73 with as few mods, so that if more patches are released, which they probably will be because I've heard there's some problems with multiplayer, um, this game campaign will still be quite stable. So anyway, let's jump into it. I haven't actually decided on anything, like I haven't decided on what um, like race or anything I'll be, so I'll just wing it. So let's go. And I'll let the introduction.
For 500 years, the Calradian Empire dominated the continent. Its armies scattered foes before them. The strongholds of proud tribes crumbled beneath its engines of war. From the forests of the north to the wastes of the south, all was brought beneath the standard of their legions. Brutal as the conquest was, the wise agreed that it brought peace. The land, now untroubled by armies, grew rich. But empires, like men, grow old. Leaders lose a common cause. Corruption spreads. Old enemies learn the Empire's tricks and devise new ones of their own. Until one day, The bonds holding the Empire snap. Then comes the Civil War, pitting all against all. A time of hatred. A time of suffering. But also, even in the worst hours, a time of courage and defiance. As new leaders arise, from new places and new peoples, to turn back the tides of destruction and bring forth a new world from the ashes of the old.
Wow, that's actually pretty cool. I normally skip that. I think it's the first time I've seen that in its entirety. Now, just thinking, I believe I'm going to go Empire, because I do love the Valandians, and I do love the Botanians. Azrai are pretty cool. Khazaits, they're nice. Sturdians, I haven't really played with them yet, but Empire, I think we're going to go Empire because we do want to complete the campaign, and I'm thinking more towards uniting the Empire than destroying it. And I think Empire is probably the best faction to do that, because their culture is the largest, really. There's more factions with the Empire culture than any other, and that makes owning land easier. So if you're not familiar with the game, that's interesting. So if you're not familiar with the game, if you have a province or like a fief, or so a town or a city or a castle or even a village, and you're not of their culture, it decreases their loyalty, and it can decrease the security, and it just makes overall ruling that fief or castle or town more difficult. So to avoid that, we want to, try and have majority of our culture. We're gonna be the majority culture. We're gonna be the empire. So let's go deeply tanned. Yeah. I don't know, they're all kind of the same kind of pigment, aren't they? Voice.
Form a circle! Let them advance! Footmen! Pull back! Pull back! Warriors! Shields up!
That's right. We'll go a little bit taller. We'll just go medium. Massive now. Slightly bigger. This day and age, all good fighting men are big. Skin type. Let's say, yeah, a bit more chiseled. Thin face, ratio. Let's not spend too much time on this. Yeah, so yeah, the plan is to unite the Empire, because I have actually never, in all my hours, never completed this campaign past doing the collecting some flags, I think it is. I've never gone past that, so this should be a new experience for me, and hopefully it's good. Like I haven't heard anything about the campaign. I don't think many people have actually done it, so I think people aren't used to it, to be honest, because the last Mount & Blade Warband, it was like create your own adventure, basically. You're your own person in a sandbox. So I think people are, like, I'm so used to just doing that, which is what I've been doing lately. So yeah, having a natural storyline is a bit strange, but maybe that's why we haven't heard anything. That's okay, middle brow. Yeah, I don't know. Let's just, I don't really care about your face too much, mate, so let's maybe even just randomize, yeah? See if that works. See if that works. I don't know, I feel like all the faces end up looking the same anyway, so... Yeah, you look like a noble. Position... Yeah, might just change the skin, because I quite like the, yeah, 5 o'clock shadow. Oh, He looks a bit derpy, but that's okay. He doesn't need to be the most good-looking person around. Nose. Can we randomize that? Yeah, big nose. Nice. What they say about guys with big noses. Yeah, that's an okay jawline. Whoa, thick. Let's do that again. He looks derpy. Okay, I don't mind. Whatever. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm gonna take your lands. Say I'm gonna take your lands without saying I'm gonna take your lands. That is what that is. Okay. Oh, beautiful. Look at that. So we are Empire, so maybe not long hair, maybe something like that. And orange. This reminds me of a character. Actually, we're gonna go brand new, because we're gonna slightly roleplay in a case where... I'll go blue eyes, because you can actually see them a bit better with... Oh, that's green still. What? Okay, apparently she's gonna have green eyes. Oh no, sorry, this is the scar, isn't it? Where's the eyes? Where's the eyes? Oh, eye color, there it is. You can actually see it better on my computer. The blue eyes. Yeah, so he looks kind of derpy, but that's fine. I don't think there's any reason to try any harder. Okay, maybe a little asymmetry. Oh yeah, so again, a little bit of role play. So I'm not a huge role player, but it does make the game more interesting. So we're gonna kind of think, you know, this character, which I haven't named yet, he is kind of new to this world. So new to the, you know, the land of intrigue and battles and that sort of thing. Like, he's done a few things. So, for example, he will. Let's see what he's gonna be. He's gonna. I think we're gonna try. Let's say urban. We want some early trading if possible. There we go. And charm. Love it. Okay. Leadership would be nice, but charm and leadership is better. Unless, what does this come with? No, don't really need cunning. It's not too useful yet. They haven't really made too many advances with cunning. Cunning? Yeah. See, like, tactics is nice, scouting is nice, but it's better on a companion. And roguery, I'm just undecided with roguery. I think there's a mod on Netflix called Fobry, I think it's pronounced, and that adds a lot, but that hasn't, I don't think it's been updated for this, and that deserves its own real playthrough, to be honest. So maybe later in life, but at the moment not so much. Tactics is nice, but it's quite easy to upgrade. It's quite easy to like skill in that. And scouting, again, we'll probably just get a companion to fulfill that role, because it is important, but it's also important that a companion upgrades their scouting, because then when you make them a caravan, scouting basically lets them see enemy parties way earlier than they should, so they can run away. So it makes it a lot harder to catch. So anyway, we're going to go with, as a child you had noted for your way with people. So that's some more charm and some more leadership. And charm just basically makes it, it's like persuasion in RPGs. Not too many checks for that, but it does help a little bit. And leadership lets you have more people in your party, which is always better. Okay. We do want some sort of combat skills though, so... Ooh. Let's see what we want. Athletics would be nice. I think we've got enough of the rest. I might put it into crossbow actually, and maybe tactics, because with tactics, the more tactics you have, I'm fairly certain, I'm not sure, because they have added a lot to this game. And as I said, I mostly play multiplayer, so I think tactics helps now with your early positioning. You can position your parties in different formations. I think that's a thing. If not, I think it just makes it so like the current your current army has benefits in certain stances. So, like example, um, if they did a shield wall, they would have even more increased um, uh, damage reduction from arrows, for example. That's what I assume that is, but otherwise, don't quote me. Actually, so maybe in retrospect, maybe that isn't the best. Let's just actually go with trade and charm, and then next we'll choose something that's combat related. So cavalry is good, but I'm thinking I want something with the crossbow, because that is, in early game, crossbow is an amazing thing to have skill in. So yeah, we'll go with crossbow, and engineering, that doesn't hurt. Intelligence is nice. Wouldn't know, but I hear it's nice. Yeah, so we don't really need... I don't think we need any... I don't really want tactics, actually, so... Trade would be good. I don't need smithing, though. What else do we have? Crossbow and control. Wow, that's a loud train going past the house. What else do we have here? You treat your people well. Nice. One-handed. Yeah, we'll go with that. Do we? I don't know. I don't know how hard I want to go min-max. Because if you want to go really hard in, like if you want to get a really good early start, you want trade. And ideally riding, but trade, majority. Because then you get money really quickly, and then you can buy an army, then you can take over. But I want to kind of play it a bit slower than that, so let's go one-handed. Oh, let's just, yeah, vigor, always good. Okay, like many families in Calradia, your life was upended by war. Your home was ravaged by the passage of army after army. Eventually, you sold your property and set off with your father, mother, brother, and your two younger siblings to a new town you'd heard was safer. But you did not make it. Along the way, the inn at which you were staying was attacked by raiders. Your parents were slain and your two younger siblings seized. But you and your brother survived because... what did we do? Did we subdue? Potentially. Chase them off with arrows, rode off on a fast horse, trick the raiders, or you organise the travellers to break out, which will give me leadership and charm. Oh, I do like the charm. This is very telling, because I always, in RPGs, I always go like the persuasion and charm route, so let's just keep with that then. Oh, we do need some riding though. We need a little bit of riding. So yeah, on retrospect, riding would be nice, so we'll go with that. And name. So, he does kind of remind me of a rather interesting character, but maybe we'll make that the last name. No, we'll make it the first name. Nigel? Nigel? Does he look like a Nigel? He looks like a Nigel. We'll go Nigel. Okay, and so with difficulty, we just want realistic. Is that Bannerlord? Cool. So that is perceived damage, so basically the damage isn't reduced at all to the damage I receive. Friendly troops receive the same damage as enemy troops. Recruitment is realistic. I don't know what that changes, but basically it makes the... you can build relationship with notables, who are like the head honchos of certain towns and villages, and if basically you do quests for them, you increase your relationship. Increasing the relationship allows you to recruit units kind of from them. In a way, look, it's kind of... I'll show you in the campaign map. Map movement, I actually quite like it as realistic because it makes it, well, one, realistic, but two, it gives like a natural incentive to have things like scouting, because if you decrease that, I don't know, it feels kind of like cheating because you can just outrun enemy parties, or most of them at least. Combat AI difficulty, so they can block and their attack movements are less robotic, but it's still quite easy to tell. Persuasion, that's why we kind of went heavy in persuasion, because now there's an actual reason to. Glamour but death, realistic, so we can reduce that, but realistic isn't even that bad, to be honest. I played my last campaign probably 2 or 3 months ago on 1.72, 1.71 I should say, and I had about I had a mod which let me have about 15 companions, and I think 2 of them died over like a campaign time of a year, so it's not that bad. We won't do iron mode because this can sometimes, especially with mods, be unstable, so I kind of want to go back to later save files. And we'll allocate perks because that makes them, I can make them more specialized that way. Cool. Sweeter burrito, and these 2 loading screens probably the longest in the game because 1, they load the scenario, and then 2, they load the whole campaign map, so you'll have to be there. But I'm thinking for this episode, we'll basically come out of the tutorial. I won't actually do the tutorial because I don't think I need to, but we'll read this quickly. So, Nathanios, brother, it's been 3 days now. We've been tracking those bastards. I think we're getting close. We need to think about what happens when we catch them. How are we going to rescue Pathos and Aelia? Are we up for the fight? Up for a fight? This looks like an old training field for the legions. Perhaps we can spare some time and brush up on our skills. The practice could come in handy when we catch up with those raiders. Or the raiders. So no, we have no time to lose. We can do more if we split up. So yeah. I'm just going to skip. Are you sure about that? And yes, I'm sure. So we're actually going to read this. This option will finish the tutorial, which has story elements. I'm pretty sure the story elements is just you and him kind of talking about some things, but example, like, I think there's a bandit that we come across later who we know is the one who helped kill our parents, but besides that, it doesn't really add anything much to it. So we'll skip. Yes, time is of the essence. Alright then, let us split up and look for little ones separately. The hobbits! I'll send you word if I find them before you do. Unlikely. One other thing, brother. We want people to take us seriously. We may be leading men into battle soon. Let's give our family a name and a banner like the nobles do. Interesting. Didn't know anyone could just do that, but we can. I should say direct and say Thornberry is going to be the family name, because it's not. It's going to be something else. It's going to be Thorn. Say Thorn. Yeah, Thorn. Nigel Thorn. Not quite the Berry. Berry comes later. Let's see. Let's make something not so... Roses have thorns, don't they? Yeah, let's go with the rose. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I've actually... Yeah. I don't think there's any faction, any family in the game that has the rose. And if they do, we'll like roleplay that as we'll kill them. And we want the rose massive, sort of. Do we? We don't want it gold though. Gold's a bit tacky. White. If only there's a red. Red and white. Looks quite cool. Alright. Nice. Oh, that's kind of annoying. What do we start with? A bow, not a crossbow. Okay, where's the closest town? Poros. Oh, what's this? Character. Cool. So, basically this side, attribute points. This side, increases the learning rate, as it says here. So, it's very hard. So you see that green section? That means, you'll learn at 4 times the pace. I assume that's what that means, but it does load faster. Sorry, you do learn the skill faster, so you upgrade your skill. But if, say, you get to there and you're trying to learn more, it's very slow. Like it takes forever. So it is a good idea to use the learning rates. I know it feels like a kind of tacked on area, but that's okay. So what are we gonna do? Gain influence by winning a tournament, or 30% more likely to have children. I think we're going to go with the tournament because that's kind of my early strat, is to win a lot of tournaments, and more influence the better. And I've never had a problem having children. This game seems to pump them out quite quickly, so yes, we'll go self-motor. Leadership. that's quite good for now. Up to, what, level 70, so that's fine. I think that's what that... Is that level 70? No, that's like 25. Oh, no, 50. Oh, so yeah, 70. Wow. Okay. We do want to upgrade crossbow, because that's going to be an important skill early on. And let's go see if we can buy a crossbow without getting raided. Okay, trade. Cool. Let's go crossbow, light crossbow. And we start with 1,000 gold, which is quite generous. And I think we can only afford the light rolls, am I right? Yep, okay, that's fine. We will try not to die too early on. But I do kind of expect to die quite early on. It happens. Well, not die, just, you know, not win. Let's see, mules. So there is also a thing of weight in this game. I don't think it's in Warband. It's been a while since I played Warband, but basically you need weight now to hold things, which makes sense. And if you don't, if you have too much inventory, not enough people to hold the inventory, then it slows down your party like dramatically. And prisoners also, they kind of act as inventory as well, so they slow you down too. I don't have money. Oops. Let's see how much. There we go. But a cool thing is if the whole party, your party speed is like way better. It is an incentive to get cavalry, or you can get a perk which basically lets all everyone in your army, like infantry, archers as well, on the campaign map, ride a horse. So that's pretty cool. Let's see. We probably can't recruit anyone yet, can we? Is there any tournaments? No. No troops. Yeah. So early on, I did notice this last time on realistic. It's very rare to have like early recruits. Normally in a game, if you have it on easier modes, you can normally get a few peasants early on. But that doesn't seem to be the case here. And yeah, so I think we'll probably call it in a second. I'm just going to go through the quests. So this is the main quest. So establish. Oh no, that's establish a clan. Yeah, we'll go through this first. So basically, you have to be at a certain level with a certain amount of men, a certain amount of money to progress the campaign. So we can read this quickly. Calradia is a land full of peril, but also opportunities. To face the challenges that await, you will need to build up your clan. Your brother told you that there are many ways to go about this, but that none forego coin. Trade would be one means to this end. Fighting and slaying off captured bandits in town another. Whatever path you choose to pursue, traveling alone would make you easy pickings for whoever came across your trail. You know that you can recruit men to follow you from the notables of villages and towns, though they may ask for a favor or two of their own before they allow you access to their more valued fighters. Naturally, you may also find more unique characters in the taverns of Calradia. However, these tend to favor more established clans. So yeah, so basically what they're talking about there is what I said before about like the notables. You do some favors for them and they let you recruit more men. And I guess that the unique characters would be the companions that you can find in taverns. Cool. And so yeah, there's another kind of area which is, I actually really like this addition, the clan feature. It actually makes having family important. And so yeah, this is the clan homepage, and as you can see, it upgrades. It levels up, and as it levels up, you can get more companions. You can get more workshops, and increases your party size, as it says there. And yeah, so that's a really cool feature. You can also send out parties now. So if you have companions in your party or family members, you can be like, oh, I'll make you your own party, and you can do your own thing, and you can help me out in battle when I want you to, which is great. It means you don't have to spend a resource called influence, which is down here, to get other armies to come help you. That's awesome. And also from here you'll see garrisons of fiefs you control, so towns and castles. Oh, that's right. I think in Warband you can own just villages, but in this game you can only own towns and castles, and owning a town or castle will give you the surrounding villages. So that's, again, pretty cool. One big gripe about this game, though, is the workshops. The workshops are there, but they're pretty bare bones in terms of they don't give you much profit. I think the best profit I've ever seen for a workshop for like 1 week was 200 gold, like profit, which is basically nothing. A lot of the time they barely make profit. It's like 70 gold, and considering you spend 10,000 to get that, it takes, yeah, I think 300 or 2 to 300 days to like pay themselves off, and not really worth it. So I think that's something that needs to be kind of fixed. I mean, if you use all the workshops, which I plan to do, all the workshop spaces, and having some caravans, that does get you a good income. But if you're doing caravans, it means you have less companions doing other stuff, such as helping you in battle, leveling up, etc., or using them as governors. Um, so that is a problem with caravans and workshops. I think because they are so limited, like you can only have a few every few clan tiers. Um, I think one way to help in future would be to eliminate or maybe increase this um, starting amount. I think if you had three at the beginning, and then got like two for each level, because I think clan tier 5 is the max. So yeah, having like 15 workshops at the end game would, it would help. And it wouldn't even be that much more OP. It would just be a bit more of a help. But yeah, I guess what they want you to focus on, what Tailworlds kind of wants you to focus on, would be getting a town, because towns, oh boy, they give you a lot of money. So that's what we're going to be aiming for. But yeah, I think this is what we're going to call this episode. Um, yeah, so that was pretty good. I think next we're going to just try and find some bandits, as it said in the flavor text. Oh, we didn't go into the quest. So we'll go through the major quests as well, the major quest log next episode. Um, and yeah, so, and we'll also find some bandits to hopefully kill and take their stuff, and then buy some stuff. So that's kind of the early game for you, and doing some tournaments. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.